day out, kept bonded together, kept believing in the process, kept believing in getting better, and fought all the way to the bitter end. All the way that Rose Bowl, their final test. And to be able to bring that back, to be able to say, I gave them a ring the other day, and on the side of that ring had three things. It had the victory bell, it had the shillelagh, and it has the Rose Bowl trophy. In 124 years of football at USC, those men accomplished it. That was the 13th time it had ever been done. That victory bell, that shillelagh, and that Rose Bowl trophy, they love each other. They love being together. And we're going to keep them together. We absolutely love having them on our campus. It was a very rewarding season. Very rewarding. Spent some special memories made. But as I asked our team, I said, guys, did we make something? Did we make some memories? Was that special? Every man raised their hand. The next question I asked, are you satisfied? And not one hand rose. Because we understand what USC is about. USC is about Pac-12 championships. It's about national championships. And it's hard to go from 3-1, so you have to get right back to work. The day after the Rose Bowl, I sat down and said, okay, you're going to finish somewhere in the top 5 someplace. How do you go from number 3 to number 1? Well, the first thing I heard Andy talk about it, and it's extremely important, is consistency and stability among your staff. Anytime that you win and you have success, people try to go gather. They go try to capture your coaches. They want to bring them to their place, especially your coordinators. I have a couple loves of my life. My wife is one, my 3 children are one, my 105 other sons that I've got down in the dock are one, and Clancy Penderglass is right there with me. But to have the ability to keep Clancy, to keep T, to keep that crazy special teams coordinator we got in John Baxter, just block hands that returns for touchdowns. To keep those 3, 9 out of 10 of our coaches stayed right here, had other opportunities, and decided to stay right here and to continue building something truly special. That's the first thing I wrote down, is you've got to keep your coaches. The next thing I wrote down is, okay, you're going to have a lot of guys that are going to be off this football team. I didn't realize how good they were. 14 young men today are in mini camps right now. 14 men that were on that team last year are having the opportunity to move on and to fulfill a dream in professional football right now. 5 drafted, 9 free agent signings, and I tell you what, they're leaving here as true professionals, both on and off the field. I'm truly, truly proud of them. But when you have talent leave, you have to bring talent in. And that was the next thing I wrote down, is you have to be able to bring the guys, not necessarily let everybody pat you on the back and say, oh, great recruiting class, but you have to be able to fill the needs of your team. And that's what we had to do. I can't tell you how proud I am of our assistant coaches, the recruiting job they did to bring the 24 young men that are coming into our university. They fulfilled huge needs. This is a big man's game, and Coach Robinson talked about it. We win because of our physicality. When it is time to stop the run and it is time to run the ball, we can. We run the ball when we must to win ball games, and we have to stop the run, as you saw 3 straight runs there versus Penn State to get the ball back. You have to be able to do that, and it starts with big men. So we signed 5 defensive linemen that are big, ugly people, and I love them. We signed 5 offensive linemen that are even bigger and even uglier, and I love them even more. And then we put some skilled players around them that I think are truly dynamic, that can come in here and help us. We provided depth among our skill. Well, that was the second thing I wrote down. The next thing I wrote down is this. I'm going to mention some names to you. Stevie Tuikolovatu, Mike Hutchings, Darius Rogers, Justin Davis, Juju Smith, Adoree Jackson. Those guys not only were good players, but they were dynamic leaders. Coach talked about it. When you're 1-3 and everything's going crazy, that's when a true man stands up and he shows his character. It's not when things are going good, it's in the face of adversity. And those young men said, you know what, Coach? We've been there. We have fought through the wars. We understand that we're headed in the right direction. let's keep it going. When you lose those type of guys, you have to reestablish leadership. Now whose time? It's a time for a Chino Wosu to take Stevie T's spot as the rock of that defensive line. It's time for a Cam Smith to go bounce over and now be the quarterback of a defense. It's time for a Sam Darnold, as you heard him say, do his own form, not change him, but be his own form of leader with a bunch of young skilled players and be able to say, hey, come with me. Let me show you how it's done. So we established that over the spring, and we still got some work to do. We got to be able to continue that through training camp. The last thing I wrote down is this. 24 newcomers. That's a fourth-year football team. Fourth-year football team, and you have to teach them your identity as a team. When they come here, if they're going to help you, they have to understand what USC is about and how we win football games. We learned how to win last year. They have to learn our identity. Stop the run. Run the ball to win. Play great special teams. Don't turn it over. Don't make the decision-making penalties that kill you. And you have to reestablish it, and you have to relearn and recreate your identity with a team that's a little bit different. Well, I can't tell you how excited I am about this season coming up. Is it not going to be all 7 home games? 7 home games starting right from the start. Western Michigan, Stanford, and Texas, all at home. I need this from me. I need every person to be in that Coliseum and bring 3 friends with you. Because I'm going to tell you this. And Andy's talked about the same thing. I can't tell you how proud I am of our Trojan family because the electricity that you brought to the Coliseum last year, the electricity that you brought to the Rose Bowl last year, we feel. There is a reason we've been together as a Trojan family, this football team, 9 times in the Coliseum. Those kids have not lost, and I'm telling you, it's because of you. They understand what they represent when they walk in there. So fill that thing up for you. And I've been there with Andy, too. I sat right there when he was playing UCLA, and the whole place was going nuts. Gambling Center was going nuts. I walked in and said, it's over. It is over. You can just feel it. That electricity of what you bring, I can't tell you what it does to our players. And we thank you for being there. And thank you for being a part of it. I thank you for this. Thank you. Being the head coach here has been the greatest honor of my life. It has been, without question, the most favorite time of my life. And I can't tell you how proud I am to be a Trojan and be a part of something truly special. And the best is yet to be. With that,